one of my beautiful moments recently was, I'm looking at the seafront now from where I'm logging on. I live at the top of Clarendon Road, and I view the pier from this very spot. So I often go down into Southsea, and one of my memorable moments recently was going down and seeing the whole queue of people outside the former Debenhams store, going in to explore, Portsmouth Creates and everything that was going on there. So I'm very delighted to hand over to Pippa, who's going to tell us more about the amazing things that have been going on. Thank you very much, Pippa, and welcome.
Thank you, Sam. I mean, I think I have both the problem and the privilege of going last. It's a problem in that how do you follow those two great speakers before me there? But it's also a privilege in that it's given me a chance to reflect on what links the three of us. And I think that very much is the partnership, as Steve said, the community, and it's that can-do attitude. I think all of us share that, yes, we are going to do it and we're going to make it happen. And that is very much the central ethos of Portsmouth Creates. We are a community interest company formed in 2019 entirely for the city, for the creative and the cultural heart of our city. There's 4 volunteer directors, of which I'm one. And we were formed with the support of Arts Council England, Portsmouth City Council, the University of Portsmouth, and also Victoria's Festival. So we really exist to help and support our creatives. And just hearing Sam talk about, I only have to start talking about the market and I get goosebumps. So let's tell you a little bit about the market first, if you haven't already heard about it. So we were lucky enough, with the help of Councillor Pitt and also with the National Regional Property Group, to be able to get access to the Debenhams site. And what we have done back in towards the beginning of the first lockdown now was to think about how we could reimagine that site to help our creatives in our city, because as everybody knows, creative practitioners are on their knees. They have lost pretty much every way of selling their goods they had. We've lost all our markets over the summer. We've lost Victoria's Festival. We've lost almost every event that we would normally look forward to in this city over the summer. So we were really keen to do something to help those practitioners and to enable them to still have a way to sell their goods. So we basically turned Debenhams into a craft department store, really, bringing the first market back in September. We had 65 market stall holders come in, and I will never forget the day they were all loading in, because we had stall holders in tears saying, "Thank you, you have given us back our livelihoods." All of us at that point as a team were completely shattered. We'd gone 110 miles an hour. I mean, the Victorious team did 95% of the heavy lifting on this and were simply incredible. That it was worth every single minute when you saw what it had meant to those creatives. The following month in October, we had 125 stall holders in. We believe that the economic impact just of those markets of the 2 months we were allowed to run, probably well over £250,000 worth of sales directly taking place in the building. And that's without the economic impact to the rest of the high street, which was dramatically, footfall was huge, as you mentioned when you introduced me, Sam. But for me, it was that moment when I stood outside and I watched that queue of people. And I think for the creatives as well, it just made everybody realize that, yeah, people do care. People do support us. People are here and we can do this. And I think it was kind of a magic moment, seeing people willing to get involved, come out, socially distanced queue. Over 6,000 people went through that market over 2 weekends. That's incredible. So we're that's just one tiny bit there of what Portsmouth Creates does, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the market, because I'm very pleased to say and to announce really that it will be going ahead in December. So you've still got one more chance to see it. So it will be back on December the 12th and 13th. So please do come along, see the market on that weekend. But to tell you a little bit more about the kind of things Portsmouth Creates does, at the heart of what we do is our values. You can have a look at our website, portsmouthcreates.co.uk, and we hold everything we do back to those values. So we are passionate and creative, ambitious, honest, genuine, accessible, independent, courageous, unpretentious, and most of all, rooted in the community. For us, that's what it's all about. We want to listen to our creatives, listen to our community, and ensure we are responding to what they need and what they want. So some of the things we've done at the beginning of lockdown, we were very worried about all of the school children and young people that were locked in their houses, perhaps with not a lot of activities to do, and people's mental health and mental well-being at that point. There was a lot of fear, there was a lot of anxiety. There still is, but it was particularly strong in that first moment. So we actually got artists from across the city to get involved and design a colouring book. And we literally decided in a board meeting on the Friday we were going to do this. By the following Friday, we had a full proof for the colouring book. So the turnaround speed is just incredible, the way we can get things done. The following Thursday, they were with Sandy and the team at the Hive going out in those food bank parcels. So it was literally less than 2 weeks from saying, yes, we're going to do this, to them being out with the people that needed them the most. So we printed 3,000 colouring books that were put together with colouring pencils and some other art supplies, and they went out, and we hope they went out in time for the Easter bank holiday weekend. So they were turned around at that speed. And we really hope that just gave people a little bit of something to smile about and just helped to keep people occupied and keep people positive. That colouring book was a first step, really, if you like, on that journey, carrying on the theme of mental well-being, which is really important to all of us. We then went on to do the Take Time initiative, which is led by Benjamin Claiborne, who's also part of the team at the Guildhall. Take Time is a weekly creative virtual coffee shop, for want of a better terminology. It's a weekly group that's open to everybody. If you're interested in joining, you can just message me or message Ben. All the details are on the website. It's a chance every week for creatives to get together, talk to each other, network, but also just have that sense of community and that sense of belonging. It can be a lonely place being a freelancer. You can often feel like, you're on your own, you're isolated. You add COVID and other things into that mix, and that we were very worried about that section of our community. So we're incredibly proud of what Take Time has already achieved and what it will go on to achieve. So that's just another one of our activities, another strand to the bow, if you like. So we've talked about the creative market, we've talked about the colouring book, talked about Take Time. Also, We Believe. You may have seen lots of lovely posters again. Councillor Pitt was heavily involved in this, and we're very thankful for the support we received from the crowdfunding opportunity. So we raised £5,000 from crowdfunding, and that was matched by the council. Now, what that £10,000 meant is it was a lifeline to our artists. We were able to commission artists to create a poster. Don't know if you've seen any of them. If you haven't, there's still one more chance to see them at the market in December, but otherwise they are still up, I believe, on notice boards around the city. When we're out of lockdown, you can go on the walk on the trails and see these posters. They're beautiful, they're inspirational. And I'm starting to see them pop up in the home offices of lots. I'm expecting to see one in your office soon, Steve. I'm just looking behind you. I can't see any at the minute, but they're popping up in people's offices all over the city. And that's really rather lovely, because it's just a way of remembering that, yes, this has been a horrible, awful year in so many ways, but actually those posters are our messages of hope, of optimism. And that's what it's all about. And that comes back to our core of being passionate and believing in this city and believing that we can do things and we can make a change. Portsmouth needs to be more ambitious. I think we'd all recognise that. I mean, I'm a Portsmouth ambassador as well. I've got my badge somewhere. I couldn't find it tonight in time, but I have got my badge somewhere. I've done the training as well. And I think it's lovely to speak to groups of people like this who are as passionate and as committed to advertising what a wonderful and beautiful city we all have and we're lucky enough to share. For us at Portsmouth Creates, we are always here to listen to ideas, to listen to partnerships, and to come up with ways to support our creatives. So I'm very happy to take questions if there are any from anyone about the different things we do, or general questions. Everyone's gone very
Pippa, thank you so much. We'll check the chat bar. But it may well be that after tonight, people have got queries or questions, and I'm sure that through the Shaping Office, we can, if you don't mind, direct some your way, because I know people will want to find out more about some of the events that are taking place. So a huge thanks again. I think there's a real theme that's coming out this evening. It's almost like, and I think this probably sums up the city and all of the volunteers, and organisations coming together. It's like everyone's part of a strand, that weaves into a huge tapestry of what makes us, keep our individual strengths, but actually being stronger together. So I think we really are at the heart of, nurturing one another. And I think, what comes through again is that, we are a city that nurtures creativity. We nurture emerging talent, and we try to safeguard and encourage, and support one another. So, I think Portsmouth Creates sums that up beautifully. And again, if you just think about the three speakers that we've had this evening, you're all working together. So this again is a perfect example of how we invite people to speak to ambassadors, but actually they all know each other because they're all working together. And that is the spirit of what we do and what we want to achieve. So I think there was a couple of things in the chat bar. I'm just going to check that we've honoured them. Let's have a quick look. Are the We Believe posters available as postcards, Pippa?
No, they're not, unfortunately. But what you can do is, if there's a particular poster you like, you can contact that artist either directly, if you can find it on social media, or through us at our info@portsmouthcreates.co.uk, and we'll put you in touch with that artist. A lot of them are selling you can buy them as a print. I don't know if any of them are doing postcard size. You can certainly buy the prints direct from the artist. Because we wanted to make sure they could get the maximum amount of revenue from their commission as possible. So they are available directly from those artists. I do love the postcard idea, though. It's a great idea.
And also, there was a query there about the poster walks.
Yeah, again, details are on the website. So portsmouthcreates.co.uk. You can download a copy of the map and you can go on one of the trails. I think there's 2 or 3 trails. You can pick which one you want to do. But, I've done quite a few of them over the last few months. It's good exercise to get out on the trail and have a look at the art. And I find something different to love in the pieces every time. We have some really exciting things coming for 2021. We will be doing We Shine, our light festival in 2021. We're in the planning stages for that. But I think more than ever, we need that beacon of hope. We need those lights. We need to get out there and celebrate and remind ourselves that, this is why we do these things. We want to be together and celebrate in 2021, and we have big plans for that.
Fantastic. You have me inspired to write a poem about shining lights. More to follow on that one. I feel fired up from that one. Thank you very much. So a huge thanks to our speakers tonight. Thank you to Councillor Pitt, to Sandy, and also to Pippa. Thanks to everyone that's logged on this evening. We know that, in these difficult times, these challenging times, not everyone's able to make the forums in the usual way. There are some technological, access, challenges for people. But, every person that's logged on tonight, let's work in the spirit of sharing all this information, all these success stories that are out there, all this partnership information, because, it's not about how many people log on. It's about the fact that this is not just, one session. Think of all the conversations and all the stories and all the information that can come just from 1 hour of spending time together, a small group of people dedicated to making change in the city. So let's go forward. Let's listen, hear more, in that we can and we do attitude. If anyone's got any other queries, or inquiries, I'm sure, Stuart, you'll be happy to field some through the office. Yep, and thank you to everyone who's logged on this evening. Stuart, have you got any last messages for anybody about any forthcoming sessions?
Steve's got his hand up.
Excellent. Steve.
I was being all civilised, Sam. Just a couple of things that came out of things that Sandy and Pippa said. I think I can't stress strongly enough how important the Hive have been since lockdown 1 started, and how quickly the councils had to learn to not just be this edifice of being a local authority, but actually to realise that if you actually want to achieve change, you have to empower people. You can't just be the benefactor who hands out, a bit here and a bit there and say, oh, do this for us. You've actually got to be prepared to answer the questions as well as ask them. And I think that's a really important lesson that we've learned as a council over the last 8 months. And I can categorically tell you that there are people who are alive today because of the Hive. Just think about that for a minute, how powerful that actually is. And in terms of the work that Pippa and her team have done at Portsmouth Creates, there are creatives in this city who are paying their mortgage and surviving and are not falling through the cracks, and who've got a chance to come back in 2021 because of Portsmouth Creates. That's how powerful these two partners have been. And there are businesses that are stood up and who are surviving, who are getting support because of what Shaping Portsmouth is doing. So when you're out there being ambassadors, which is a really important role, and I've always taken it seriously as well, and it's great to see in the chat, talk up the city. Portsmouth is an amazing place, and it absolutely drives me mad whenever I look at the news Facebook page and see so many people slagging it off. I think they ought to turn off their comments and stop people from being able to constantly talk down our city. You're an amazing bunch of people. Keep doing what you do, because it really does make a difference.
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor Pitt. And I think the word powerful has come through a lot tonight. We are a very strong city, a very proud city, and it is about letting people know who we are, what we do, and how we can continue to help one another. So thanks again to all the speakers. Thank you, Stuart, for setting everything up. Did you have anything else, Stuart, to share with the participants this evening?
Just to say, this was the final forum session that we've got planned this calendar year. We will be looking at holding some more forums probably in the spring. Hopefully we'll be able to meet in person again, but if we are still under any sort of restrictions, we'll revert to doing the online version.